Welcome to podcast 43. Yes, 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 maybe, but yes.
Yeah. Well, hello and thank you. I don't remember if I say hello, but I'm going to say it on this one.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
How we started a film podcast. Hello, welcome to podcast 43. My name is Fulton Collins, and I am joined with
Chris Borg. And we're talking about Jean Rollin. So specifically his 1973 film, The Iron Rose, which was his first non-vampire movie, I believe. In case you're not familiar with Jean Rollin, he was a French horror director. He also directed some pornography. If you check his letterbox, you're gonna see that at the bottom. But he's most famous for his horror movies, and specifically his work in the vampire subgenre.
I think it's also a part of another subgenre of that as well, right?
Of sexy vampires, lesbian vampires.
Yeah, I don't know if lesbian vampire is a subgenre of the subgenre of vampire.
Well, funny enough, people do compare him to Jess Franco a little bit, the Spanish director who is probably his most famous film is Vampiros Lesbos. So yeah, he makes good bedfellows with another pioneer in the lesbian vampire genre.
Interesting.
But they are different in some ways. Just because they're both, just because they both make kind of dreamlike horny movies that involve a lot of nudity, doesn't mean that they're the same.
Call them out, Chris.
Yeah,
call them out.
There are different themes in both of their films, so just keep that in mind. That you don't write off Rollin just because you don't like Franco. I will say that if you like Jess Franco, then you're probably gonna like Jean Rollin, and but I'm just saying, it's. I would say Rollin is the better filmmaker.
Well, I mean, if to give credit where credit's due, Rollin has a Limp Bizkit song named after him, where he's the main focus, and Franco does not. So what is, rolling.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
If we're going to use Limp Bizkit as any type of indicator of prestige,
There is this book on Jean Rollin called Lost Girls, the Phantasmagorical Cinema of Jean Rollin. And it's a bunch of essays on his films. And I really, really want to read it because all the essays are written by women.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Is there one on this particular film, The Iron Rose?
Yes, there is. It's on like all of his like films. I don't think his
non-porn,
not his non-porn film.
Yeah. The canon, I guess we'll say.
Yes, yeah. And so this episode's also I wanted to do this because they Criterion Channel just made about 6 of his films available for the month of October to get people in the Halloween spirit, I guess. So you unfortunately do not have the ability to watch The Iron Rose on the Criterion Channel. However,
it is on YouTube if you want.
Is that how you watched it?
No, I actually realized this after I had rented it on Amazon.
Oh, I see. I see.
But I'm not familiar. I didn't check the transfer, so proceed at your own discretion for the YouTube one.
But yeah, you can watch Fascination, which is one of his, which is a film that isn't about vampires, but it's about lesbians that like to suck blood from people, but they're not vampires, which is something that a lot of his movies are about for some reason. Lips of Blood, The Living Dead Girl, Lost in New York, Requiem for a Vampire, and The Grapes of Death are what you can watch this month, at least, on the Criterion Channel. But yeah, he's very, what I find great about Rollin is the way that he's able to compose shots and make things. He just has such a knack for just making things so beautiful with very limited resources too. So I guess to start off with covering The Iron Rose, it follows these young couple that go on a first date together, and they wander into a cemetery, and they go into a hole in the ground that's like maybe somebody's tomb, and they have sex in the tomb, and then they ascend from the tomb and realize that it's pitch black out, and they're stuck in the cemetery and they can't escape, and then they kind of are overcome with like existential dread, and it's just mostly all shot in this cemetery in France. And so even though it's really only on one location, and there's like no special effects or no costuming other than like just very standard like clothes that the characters are wearing, he still finds just a way to like find beauty in that and document like this kind of decaying state of mind that they're going through, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the costuming is very smart as well, to have the boyfriend, or I should say the man, because they're not, it's a first date, but he's decked in a very bright red. I don't think they'll have a second one. But he's decked in a bright red, which I think kind of inclines you to believe that he'll be a bit more aggressive or passionate is another way to read that color. But I kind of read it as more aggressive, knowing what we, I guess seeing what we see throughout the film. I think that fits. And she has a yellow / kind of orangey kind of color to her outfit, which if we want to look at it, yellow could possibly mean illness. And we can kind of look at that through her mental state or her decaying mental state over the film. I guess where I was approaching this film, in which I kind of over time had to quickly adjust what I was expecting from the film, I was kind of thinking, okay, it's going to be a date. So they'll go there, they'll probably disrupt some graves, and then, I don't know, like a ghoul or zombie or something will come, and that'll be that's what I expected from the genre. But really the film is a lot more fluid and not necessarily laid back, but has a spontaneous nature to the film.
Yes. And so like, for example, or I think like compared to other Rollin films, this is the one that operates the least in the realm of genre, because it doesn't exactly feel like a kind of standard horror movie that you'd expect, or like his other films deal with like much more kind of even kind of paranormal experiences, or like kind of otherworldly experiences, like The Demoniacs, which is a film that he made in the late 70s, is like about these women that kind of are that like get revenge on these like kind of evil pirates, and they get like special powers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so like that, none of that happens here. It doesn't have any of this otherworldly nature to it, because it's all just about these two performances for the most part in this cemetery, and their mental state and the deterioration of it as the night progresses.
Yeah. Just to kind of hit on that spontaneity that we're kind of teasing out, I was able to watch a interview with she's just titled as The Girl, but Françoise Pascal.
Yeah, Francois Pascal.
Yeah, so sorry for my pronunciation again.
Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah. But she was kind of detailing, her time on the set, and apparently it was kind of like spontaneous in the fact that she would kind of prep for certain scenes and then they would immediately go and film a different scene, or they were prepping to film in the cemetery and then Rollin decided no, we're going to go to the beach, and then it was kind of this ping-ponging nature, and kind of some level of improv was allowed on the set as well. And she seems very sweet and very nice, and I think she would have been, very cool to work with. And so I'm glad that, she had a fun time in collaboration with him, even though it seems like he was a bit more standoffish. But also, she kind of talks about who plays the boy, and apparently there's a fight scene in this film where he does get pretty rough with her, and apparently that was true to, that aggression wasn't exactly faked. It doesn't seem like it seems like that he didn't really understand the film or didn't really care to really give it his all, and I think that might be why his role reads as more aggressive to me. I didn't know how you felt about his role. Did you also feel the same way?
Yes, I definitely read him as a very like kind of aggressive and domineering, and there are so many parts of his actions in this film that make you very uncomfortable because of just how horrible he's being, and the physicality that he releases on Francois Pascal's character. But it also feels like, in a way, like these people are going through these like psychotic, they're like speed running a relationship over the course of a night, where it's like, we love each other, we hate each other, we love each other, we hate each other. Like, I'm thinking about death. He's like, you're weird, get the fuck out of here. Like, leave. Like, it's very psychotic. And it kind of reminds me of it's like, in a kind of vulgar way, the film Certified Copy by Abbas Kiarostami with Juliette Binoche, where it's like these two people that just like are talking to each other and then just like become like basically act out an entire relationship over the course of a conversation. And it's very kind of like, insane in the way that like a relationship would be over the course of a matter of years, but it's all done over like a conversation.
Yeah. No, it's very wild to kind of watch in some ways. I also wanted to say, I was kind of interested to see what people had said about this film, and it does seem like it's a type of film that's open enough in terms where people can kind of insert their own meanings.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of people that come at it from different angles, which I do appreciate. And
It's very like, yeah, it really does feel like it's very European art house. And it's like, I think there are people that would detract, have, you know, Rollin has his detractors, you know, people would call at the time the type of movies that he was making like Euro trash, essentially.
It's crazy how that definition has changed over time.
Oh yeah, I mean, but like I think especially like now, people have been coming around to his movies. I think that like this release that I watched that Kino Lorber put out about in like 2012, but also like this new 4K restoration that they're doing with Indicator shows that like he's become a much like that he's growing in respect. And then also, I mean, the fact that he's on the Criterion channel now and has been in the past as well, like or it was on Filmstruck, I think, but that shows that like that's no longer just, you know, Euro trash. But I think especially like for people that like are still a little skeptical and like maybe don't know, like I don't want to watch a movie about lesbian vampires, The Iron Rose is a great entry point because it is very much an art house film in its structure.
Yeah, no, it's it is. I think. So I don't want to jump the gun, I guess. So, well, I am apprehensive towards it a little bit, but I'm very open to rewatching it. I think it literally just came down to when I started this film, I was just exhausted. And I was very tired, and I don't think I was in quite the right headspace to approach this film. So that's kind of why I'm apprehensive towards it, but I want to, you know, I want to give it a second viewing, and I really want to check out more of his filmography, which like you were saying, the Criterion channel does offer more points of entry, which I'm thankful for.
Are you more interested in his like more straight genre stuff than do you think that you would like it more, the genre stuff?
It's possible. It's definitely possible. I do tend to lean that way. And so like the vampire stuff the vampire films that you talked about earlier, those do sound very interesting. I don't think I'll travel into his earlier filmography. I think I'll just stick to the later stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, Fulton, let me just read.
If you catch my drift,
let me just read. Let me just read some of the titles of the movies that you'll be missing if you don't do that, such as Hard Penetration.
Okay.
Disco Sex.
Well, Hard Penetration, that sounds like a Stallone 80s action film, you know? So it could, you know.
Disco Sex from 1978.
Mm-hmm.
A disco band shows up at a studio to make a new album, but they are badly mobbed by a bunch of female groupies. A big orgy breaks out that postpones the recording session.
That sounds wild. Yeah.
No, not a big orgy.
No.
And then
do you think it was his association with porn that led to people dismissing his later filmography earlier in the past?
I mean, I would say it probably didn't help.
Yeah.
But I think that like especially in the 70s, those things were a lot more fluid than they are now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I mean, just Franco made a lot of porn too. But I think that like that probably, yeah, didn't contribute to people. It didn't help a lot of the defenders. But you know, he was also making that stuff like, you know, concurrently. He would basically he considered the directing the porn to be a way for him to get money so he could make the movies that he wanted to make with in the genres that he wanted to work in and stuff. So
that's a very fascinating one for them, one for me mentality.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Yeah. I'm sorry. I have to direct a Marvel movie so I can make you know, my indie films. No. How about I have to direct disco sex so I can make Fascination. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. And so, yeah, I think like definitely give Rollin a try.
Yeah.
Iron Rose on YouTube, as Fulton said. However,
I think it's the same transfer as the Amazon Prime one, but without the hard-coded English subs. But you can just turn on captions. So
I'm surprised that it's allowed on YouTube because of the nudity.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that if you also want to try a vampire movie, maybe try Lips of Blood, which is on the Criterion channel this month. So I think there's lots to discover from Rollin, and I'm still discovering him. And I guess when I run out of movies to watch, I'll say, all right, disco sex, it's time to boot that
coming.
one on.
I mean, I didn't mean that as a pun. I just meant I'm watching, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry. My apologies. And
I'm coming.
I'm pressing play. You know?
I'm watching this with my pants on.
And this is the beginning of my journey with him, but I look forward to what the future holds when I get around to his other films.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I guess do we want to talk about next week's new release to plug next episode?
Yeah, Fulton, you take it away.
Cool. We're covering After the Hunt, the new Luca Guadagnino film. To me, he's been on a pretty hot streak, so I'm excited to see where this one leads, and excited to talk about it. It's got a pretty interesting cast.
It's saying some interesting things that some people would say they're interesting. Other people would maybe use a different word, but yeah.
I guess we'll parse that out next episode.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say this super quick. Was to shout out Graveface TerrorVision Museum. If you're in the Savannah area and you want to pick up some pretty nicely curated Blu-rays, head there. They have this indicator set of the Iron Rose. I wasn't able to pick it up this particular time, but it does look like a very nice set. So yeah, if you're interested in that. But till next time, stay safe,
stay wavy,
and keep on keeping on.
on.
Boom.